California seems determined to destroy Hollywood and its entertainment industry. The latest chaos? Paramount Skydance buying Warner Brothers, approved by the U.S. government, making its way through all the global issues. It's going to happen. So what did the land of the Golden State decide to do? Well, sue, of course, and try to block it in an effort that will lose. There is no doubt. And Paramount Skydance is answering back now. They're ready to pick up and leave. They're out of California. Hello, folks. Hello, friends. Welcome back yet again to the channel that continues to sing a happy tune and bring you the news with the truth, always starring a capital T. As we dive in today, as we always do, we simply ask you to consider clicking that like button, and we'll explain why this is California's huge loss and where Paramount Warner Brothers might end up next when they take all of that wonderful tax money somewhere slightly more red. Goodbye, California. See you later. Paramount has had enough after a war is being waged against them for taking over Warner Brothers. Cleared by the U.S. government, California wants to pitch a little tantrum here. And Nina Jada says this on the New York Post. Paramount weighs California exodus after state's war on $110 billion Warner Brothers takeover. It says California's escalating battle over Paramount's proposed $110 billion merger with Warner Brothers Discovery could end with another corporate giant walking away from the Golden State. Sources told Semaphore advisors close to CEO David Ellison have encouraged him, which he's not going to be like, oh, darn it, we got to stay here in California. I just love it so much. Have encouraged him to consider moving the company's headquarters and redirecting much of its planned $30 billion spending outside the state if Attorney General Rob Bonta files a lawsuit to block the deal. Well, guess what? From that Park Place, Marvin Montanaro, California, and 11 other blue states did indeed file a lawsuit to stop Paramount Warner Brothers merger. This came true just weeks after the Trump administration's Department of Justice cleared Paramount's proposed acquisition. A coalition of 12 state attorney generals has launched what could become the biggest legal challenge facing the deal. Led by California Attorney General Rob Bonta, the state filed a federal antitrust lawsuit seeking to block Paramount's planned $110 billion acquisition of Warner Brothers Discovery. Now, what does this mean? Now, Paramount advisors are also getting in. This from Fox Business. They want to move away from California. And ultimately, what will this do? There is no way that this merger is going to be stopped. There is no way that this will be stopped. The only thing this is going to do is it's going to hurt California. That's it. Because if Paramount, at a time when they cannot lose, they cannot afford to lose any studios, when their industry is faltering, failing, when they are giving away millions and millions of dollars to try to keep people. If this goes to Texas or it goes to Tennessee or it goes to Nevada is another option that's out there. There are a handful of red and purple states that Paramount Skydance can move to with Warner Brothers, and they take the tower, they take everything, but most importantly, they take the taxes. California is shooting themselves in the foot. They are cutting off their nose to spite their face. Andy, there's no way, this is what's bizarre, there's no way this works for them. This will not work for them. So they are literally just setting themselves ablaze, like the Palisades, all over again. Andy, your thoughts on this one?
Well, they chased everybody out of town because of their policies. And now they're saying, like, well, if you don't stay here and let us take all your money, you don't get to play at all. I think this is kind of above this. And I think it's kind of hypocritical after nobody said anything when Bob Iger bought everything under the sun and ruined it.
Yep, I think you're right. Paul, as you watched the exodus from California, it wasn't enough to burn down an area the size of the city of Paris. That didn't do it for them. Now they're running out, some of their largest companies. And I don't understand what it is they're up to exactly. I don't know why. I get the politics of it, but this is self-immolation.
The issue is that the government refuses to decrease the size of their civil service. That's really the crux of this, that they have jobs that they're doing, they're getting paid for it inefficiently, and the bureaucracy in California is stultifying. You can't get anything done. But the hue and cry to reduce that bureaucracy is going to be huge.
And the thing is, and this is what they don't seem to understand, I don't know if it's a legacy issue where they don't realize times have changed, but Lauren, people and companies can move now. There's nothing that forces any company to be in these kinds of places. The internet and the speeds, the distribution now of talent,
right,
means you can go anywhere. So you can't hold them back.
Hollywood. Go ahead.
There is a cost associated with making a move like that, but I think that it's offset by the fact that if a state makes a threat like that, that's how I'm going to view it, as a threat. You are threatening my ability to continue to function as a business when you start meddling in the affairs of how we're going to merge, what kind of business we're going to do. In the case of California, in some cases where they're saying if you exit, then we're going to tax you on your exit. So I can't think of a better reason why to get out of a state than something like that. So I hope that, honestly, California keeps making these mistakes. It hollows out the state so that they lose some of their influence, particularly when it comes to their electoral votes. Let them reap what they've sown so that they learn a lesson.
Well, it's like Dean Cain was saying in a prior conversation. Dean Cain, former, Superman, Lois and Clark, said he doesn't work in California anymore, not because he's like trying to boycott the state, but because all the productions have moved elsewhere. The state of California is trying to give away all of this tax fund, this slush fund, essentially, to keep film productions in the state. And it's going to animation instead because they don't have any productions. So it's going to like, hey, Pixar, you want some free cash for this movie you're going to make anyway? Won't save a single job? Here you go. Have fun with that, eh? Jonas, go ahead.
I was going to say that California relied on several key factors for way too long, and didn't realize that the loss of work to other jurisdictions were actually going to affect them. They were arrogantly thinking that the stuff moving to Toronto, Vancouver, was really not going to be much of a big deal. But again, it sucked the business dry out of LA, but for some very key reasons that people don't really talk about. Number one, no one talks about this, is that the technical infrastructure that California had, LA had, prevented a lot of jurisdictions from even making sitcoms or TV shows someplace else, like Love Boat or whatever. You literally had to have a fairly large soundstage, but because of the having to run such high-powered lighting, you had to have transformers right on the spot. And other places, and I saw this is something that I experienced in Toronto and Canada and other places in Europe, where they couldn't compete with that kind of infrastructure. But slowly over time, with technology where you no longer need that level of infrastructure, technically from an electrical point of view, to be able to run the modern cameras, right? The modern cameras don't need all the electricity that you needed to have back even in the 90s. You needed 10K lights everywhere. You don't need that anymore to shoot a movie. The other thing is the sound stages. While in aggregate, LA has got way more square footage than any place else in the world, they don't have giant sound stages. Vancouver, Toronto, the UK have the giant sound stages, and I don't know whether South Carolina or North Carolina has got
Georgia. Atlanta has that. That's the other.
Yeah. So the thing is, and no one in California, no one in LA is going to build a stage that competes with those jurisdictions anymore.
Right. Good luck with that.
That's one of the reasons why Toronto and Vancouver got so much business, is that they have some massive stages.
Do you think, Paul, that they miscalculated the power of proximity?
Yes.
In today.
Yes, and the stars, and the fact that the stars all lived in the same place, and the fact that the publicity machine was all available in one place, that is now distributed. They really arrogantly thought that they were able to hold on to those things. But I look back and just look at the giant transformers on the back of these studios, and at one point, that was one of the things that prevented any other jurisdiction anywhere in the world from doing TV shows, was the infrastructure LA had. It's not necessary anymore.
Jonas, in terms of where Paramount, Skydance, Warner Brothers, the ginormous company that'll be the size of Disney when this is done, in terms of where they could go, what are your thoughts on possible locations? Texas seems to be in the lead here.
Texas seems great. There seems to be a lot getting shot in Nashville these days. And whenever I hear about, I got to talk to a star who has worked on some long-running science fiction series. He's in a big Disney
we can say his name, right?
You want to? Sure.
Yeah.
Well, no, let's not, because I'm going to say where he lives.
Okay.
He's
Fair
in
enough.
Tennessee. He's in Tennessee now.
Right. I don't think that Atlanta actually is a good candidate for this, because Atlanta, Georgia, it's a little bit more blue than I think the Ellisons are going to be interested in. Unfortunately, having come out of California with this situation, they're looking for somewhere that's maybe safer. And some would say, well, Nashville, is blue as well. But I don't know. Texas, Tennessee, maybe Nevada though. I wouldn't be surprised if they go to Vegas.
Well, in Vegas, you would that's a day trip for
sure
for people as well. But there's a proximity, and there's the fact that it's a desert. I think it's a lovely city. Vices notwithstanding, which maybe that will bring the Hollywood people over there. I don't know. That's an easy joke. I think Tennessee, Georgia, North Carolina, you get the beauty of the South. And you have pretty predictable weather as well. So it just seems
predictable. By predictable, you mean humidity. Got it. Yeah.
Right. Well, yes. I didn't say they should shoot in Florida. Orlando has been an option for a very long time, and they've all stayed away from it.
For whatever reason, Orlando just never was able to take off, this way.
For whatever reason. It's the humidity. Eisner couldn't make it happen. So
that's right. All right. Well, folks, we'll keep tracking this one. Chado, final thoughts on this? You're the expert in this field. Final thoughts on California sort of losing its place now on the pedestal.
It just seems to me that they don't have the leadership that is able to, start the ball rolling. But even if, everyone's favorite non-mayor, what was his name? Platt?
Spencer?
Pratt?
Pratt. The thing is, the infrastructure there will just fight him to the bitter end.
To its demise, to its collapse.
Really.
Yep.
I don't see, I'm sure he would have been able to make some headway, but on the other hand, the unions and the civil service, people don't talk about the civil service in LA enough. They're just not going to let it go. They'd rather have everything crumble around them than give up.
Detroit 2.0.
Yeah, it's Detroit 2.0. Exactly.
Well, it's been a good time. It's been a great time, folks. It's been a groovy time, even. Keeping the Holly Weirds in line. We know them better than they know themselves. As we say goodbye, folks, please consider clicking that like button, drop a comment down below, and join the community dialogue today. And until the next time, we say it every time. Keep learning. Keep growing. And as always, keep having fun.